Today we're going to learn about slope-intercept form. We're going to learn what it is and how to graph an equation that's written in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is form y equals mx plus b. M stands for the slope of the line. B stands for the line's y-intercept. It's important to note that there will be a number in place of m and a number in place of b. If we begin by looking at some examples. In example 1, I have the equation y equals 3x plus 7. I can see that this is in slope-intercept form. In place of m is a 3. In place of the b value is a 7. So the slope of this line would be 3, its y-intercept 7. For the number 2, I have the equation y equals 1/2 x plus 8. In this equation, m is 1/2. Remember that m stands for the slope. The 1/2 is in place of m. In place of b is 8, or I could say instead of b, the y-intercept is 8. For example number 3, in the equation y equals negative 4x plus 7, the slope here is negative 4. The y-intercept is 7. In the last example, y equals negative 2x minus 8, the slope is negative 2, but here the y-intercept is not 8, it is negative 8. Remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. If you end up with minus 8, like we do in number 4, we say that the b value, the y-intercept value, is negative 8. Let's practice graphing some of these equations. I'm going to start off by drawing, I've already drawn a coordinate grid, and I've labeled my x and y axes. Let's begin by graphing the first equation. The first equation is y equals 3x plus 7. Identify your y-intercept, which we've already done here, and we find that it is 7. So I'm going to find the point 0, 7 and put my first point there. Remember that 0, 7 would be on the y-axis. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the y-intercept. And then the slope in the first equation was 3. Remember that slope is rise over run, and that 3 is the same as 3 over 1. Rise over run. From my y-intercept, I can rise 3 units and run 1 unit to the right to get a second point. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. And I'm going to take my ruler and draw this line. This is the graph of the equation y equals 3x plus 7. Let's do example 2. Graph example 2. We'll graph it on the same coordinate grid. In example 2, the equation was y equals 1/2 x plus 8. We said the slope is 1/2 and the y-intercept is 8. I'm going to start with my y-intercept, which is 8, or the point 0, 8. Find that point on your coordinate grid. So it should be right here. And then use your slope to get more points so that you can graph a line. The slope is 1/2. This is already in fraction form. Remember that slope is rise over run. The rise is 1 unit. The run is 2 units to the right. So from here, I'm going to go up 1 unit and then 2 to the right. Up 1, then 2 to the right. Up 1, then 2 to the right. I'm going to take my ruler and draw my line. Remember that when you are drawing lines, you need to include arrows on either end. And let's also label this line. This is the line y equals 1/2 x plus 8. Let's do the third example. The third example was y equals negative 4x plus 7. The y-intercept is 7 again. So I'm going to put a point on my grid at 0, 7, which is the same as where this red point was. And the slope here in number 3 was negative 4. Remember that slope needs to be expressed as a fraction so that we can graph it, and negative 4 is the same as negative 4 over 1. Rise over run. So I'm going to start at 7 on the y-axis, and I'm going to go down 4 units since the rise is negative, and move 1 unit to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll draw this line using my ruler, and I'm going to include arrows at either end. And I'll label this. This is the equation y equals negative 4x plus 7. And then the last example, number 4, was y equals negative 2x minus 8. Remember that the y-intercept here is negative 8. So I'm going to find negative 8 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I should have extended that grid a little bit longer. That's okay. And here my slope is negative 2. If I write that as a fraction, remember it's negative 2 over 1. That's rise over run. So I'll go down 2 units, right 1 unit. So I'll go down 2, right 1. And I can go down 2, right 1 again. Take my ruler and draw this line. And I'm also going to label this one. And this is the equation y equals negative 2x minus 8. So the full view of my grid looks like this. And that's how you graph a line that is written in slope-intercept form.